Hello everybody. I'm hoping you haven't seen the more embarrassing first version of this, and if not, welcome to SarcoidosisUK. My name's Jo, I'm one of the nurses, and I've been asked to speak to you today by Alan regarding some of the issues around self-isolating, about shielding, the new thing from the government, and what that means to us, really. Basically, self-isolating is something that you should be doing if you've got symptoms. So at the moment, that is a dry cough, a new dry cough if you've got sarcoidosis, not your usual dry cough, and a temperature of over 37.5 would be a good reason to be self-isolating. You can seek further guidance from 111 here in the UK. We would recommend you go online to access 111 because the telephone lines have been falling down in the last week quite considerably, and it is easier if we have them free for the elderly, the vulnerable, and the people that don't actually use computers. So that's what self-isolating is all about. Social distancing is something we're continually being asked about, and it is really, really important. We need to get that message out there, guys, that you stay away from people, and by stay away, at least 2 meters between you all, even when you're standing in the supermarkets. I've seen some very interesting pictures coming out of Denmark this morning where they've got spots on the floor so people can't stand too close in the queues, which I think is an absolute brilliant idea. It is difficult. I know it's difficult. I've been to the dump this morning. I wasn't supposed to be at the dump this morning. And again, people would get very close despite the fact I was wearing my "Please Don't Come Near Me, I've Got Sarcoidosis" badge. The other thing that's coming up in the UK at the moment is shielding. This seems to be very much a new word the government is bandying around, and that's for people who are vulnerable, extremely vulnerable. And that is defined, I think, having looked through the criteria, for people with severe respiratory conditions and pretty much those on immune suppression medications. They are the ones that are going to apply to us. We don't know whether you're going to be getting letters. I think that will depend on how the GP surgeries perform the searches in order to send those letters out. I think that it will probably be based on medication and the stuff that you're ordering on repeats. It would be interesting to know if they're searching on sarcoidosis, but because we are such a rare condition, it is possible that they won't. So just to reiterate, just to mention really, if you think you should have had a letter from the government and you haven't by the end of the week, and I think the date is the 28th, then you need to be getting in touch with your GP surgery the following week. Please don't ring in at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's absolutely manic. Leave it till a bit later and see what they say. It will, I think, be dependent on the level of medication you're particularly prescribed at any one given time. But as I say, we don't know for definite that they will automatically send out for sarcoidosis, so just be aware. What else do we want to talk about? Personal protection, social distancing in terms of what you're going to do with the rest of your life. 12 weeks for those of us that have decided we are going into shield mode or self-isolation. It's a long, long time. It's going to be hard for those of us who are staying at home for 12 weeks. We may have to go out. It's not always possible for people to stay in for 12 weeks. Some people may need to go shopping, may need to attend particular events. It's all a matter of balance. Always ask yourself whether you need to be doing something or whether you want to be doing something. If it's something you need to be doing, then sit down very carefully and weigh the risks. This coronavirus thing is going to go nuts, I think, in the next couple of weeks, and so it is really, really important that we protect ourselves, and by socially isolating we prevent the spread as well. If you do a search on SarcoidosisUK nurse on the Facebook page, you'll see a couple of posts I've made over the last few days that talk a little bit about social distancing and what that actually means to the spread of the disease. It's far more easy for you to look at that than for me to try and explain it in words of one syllable, as it were. It's complex, but much easier with pictures. The other thing I've written about is viral load. That is very complex and certainly something I really wouldn't want to try and explain here. Do have a look at it, because it really does make sense about why you shouldn't be in groups that are gathered. I'm hoping everybody's going to stay safe. And looking forward to 12 weeks at home with you. So I'm not really sure what else I can add to the government guidance, and it is all posted there on the SarcoidosisUK website for you. It's also available on .gov.uk. We can get it all on BBC News, which is also very helpful. But if you've got any very specific questions relating to your situation and you want to speak to the nurse helpline, you're always very welcome to schedule a call, and we can sit down and talk about your individual circumstances, because everybody's situation is very individual. There is no one size fits all with this. Some people are going to be really badly affected with their sarcoidosis and are going to be at extreme risk. Some people are not going to be so badly affected with their sarcoidosis and at the lower end of the risk. Also, being aware that you are at risk is in actual fact reducing your risk. So there's lots of things to take into account here. It is, as I say, the question of balance. I will leave you to have a quick look at the Facebook page, and we'll probably catch up with you again either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week, when I'm a little bit familiar with the technology and I'm a little bit less nervous, and can talk about things in more detail. Keep safe, everybody.